Hey everybody, welcome back. The last question for this video launch, the series of 20 questions, is there an optimal way to eat?
Depends what you want to accomplish, I suppose.
Right, yeah.
A very good friend of mine in the past year had a heart attack.
Yes.
And after he had his heart attack, the doctor told him he had to live a vegan lifestyle. And that's dramatic.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a very dramatic effect or event, I should say,
Yeah.
for people to have in their life, and then all of a sudden they say, I'll do it, because I don't ever want to go through this pain again.
Right.
But, I grew up, when I was your age, I was doing bodybuilding and a lot of weightlifting. And the rule of thumb back then was, man, you need as much protein as possible. And the only way you're going to get protein was through meat, chicken, beef, meat, fish, meat, eggs,
Right.
meat, protein from your milk, right?
Protein shakes.
Yeah, protein shakes. Oh my God, we built the protein shakes. I'm surprised it didn't kill me, and it probably would have.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. We say, is there an optimal way to eat? Yes, there is. But it really depends on what you want to accomplish. But let's go through this kind of in our stages.
Okay.
Okay. The optimal way to eat to prevent disease, or if you have disease like cancer, diabetes, asthma even,
Yeah.
the optimal way to eat is a vegan lifestyle. You cut out the dairy and you cut out the meat. Cut out dairy, you cut out the meat. You cut out a lot of the oils.
Processed foods.
All the processed foods are gone. You see a lot of vegetarians who are actually overweight.
Yeah.
Because, it's simple to be a vegetarian. In a sense, it's simple to be. I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. It's really hard to cut out meat.
It is.
But as a vegetarian,
Especially after eating it for so long.
Exactly.
It is difficult.
French fries are okay for a vegetarian.
Yeah.
But they're not really okay for a vegan because the oil which they're fried in.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that vegetarians still eat that really don't lead to an optimal health.
Correct.
It's healthier sometimes than eating the meat because meat is very acidic. And I think what it really comes down to is your pH scale, your alkaline acidity scale. Foods that are high in alkalinity will be better for your body. So the meats, the dairy products are always, sugars, they're all very acidic.
Very acidic, yeah. And
So you put those in your body and you're going to introduce things like cancer, heart disease, and other fatal disease that you can come up with
Right.
by not eating properly. So, we say this, and you can read the China study, Healthy Eating for a Healthy World, Healthy Eating, Healthy World.
Yep.
They talk about all the reasons why that is the best way to eat. And there's other books out there, and this was really confusing to us when we first started. There's other books out there, Primal Eating,
yeah.
Dr. Atkins' Carbohydrate Addicts Diet. Man, they tell you, cut all the vegetables, cut all the crap out. Man, who wants to eat vegetables the rest of their life? Well, people who want to live a long time, that's
Yeah.
who eats vegetables.
And you know what? We started this vegan diet, and I know how it sounded. The optimal way to eat is a vegan diet, and I'm sure we lost probably half of you there. But seriously, after you start the vegan diet, it's almost like your taste buds come back. Nobody likes vegetables because you're so used to all of that sugar and all that junk that you're eating. But when you start eating these vegetables again and you continue to eat them, I hated rice. But it actually tastes like it has flavor now, which is weird.
Yeah.
And broccoli, like cauliflower.
Yeah. And there's a key in cooking that. It's not just eating fruits and vegetables and whole foods. And that's what it is. It's a whole food, plant-based diet
Right.
that is the optimal way to eat if you want to prevent diseases in your body and to be completely optimally healthy.
Right.
You take, people say, well, I want to be a big guy and I can't do that on that type of diet. Tony Gonzalez is one of my favorite football players in the NFL.
Yes.
And he after reading the China study, he met with Dr. Campbell who wrote it, and he understood then, this is what I need to do to be optimally healthy.
And if you're going to tell me that Tony Gonzalez is not a good athlete, then I've got stats to prove you wrong.
And I believe Arian Foster is now a vegan or almost vegan.
Right.
So we don't want to lose everybody on this by saying, because so many people hear, oh my God, they're vegans and they're just going to try to sell me on never eating meat again.
We weren't always vegans.
We weren't always vegans. And a lot of people out there won't ever be vegans.
Right.
So understand, a whole food plant-based diet is the optimal way to eat, and that's answering the question.
Yeah, and that is how you will reverse those diseases, the cancer and the heart disease, the
The
diabetes, all of those diseases, they're reversible. And you do that through diet and exercise and all the other fundamentals. But diet it's hugely important. It's probably almost the most important thing if you want to reverse your diseases.
Yes. So, after having said that, let's try to bring people back into this.
Yeah.
Okay. When we wrote our book, we didn't write it. We wrote portion control for P on our acronym of POWERS. It was portion control, not plant-based whole food diet. And we did that because we knew that when people, as soon as they see the first P, they'd be like, I can't even follow this.
Yeah.
So now we've come up with what we believe is the best total health program on the market, because it is backed by all the experts and it is fundamentals of health, but nobody can follow it.
Right.
And that's where you lose a lot of people, because it's so much simpler to eat what I want to eat, because there's so many commercials out there. I talk about the genius marketing. There's so many commercials out there that you sprinkle this on whatever you're eating and you'll lose weight. Sensa, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
Well, that means I'm still eating all the things that are going to cause heart disease, they're going to cause cancer, they're going to cause diabetes, but I won't gain any weight.
Right. You'll lose weight. That's
You'll never achieve good health.
great. But are you trying to become healthy?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to lose weight? Because we will make you healthy and lose weight.
Yep.
As opposed to just losing weight and probably going to have a heart attack in a couple of years because of what you're sprinkling on your food.
So let's talk about the phases really quick.
Okay.
So the phase one of our program is just to cut back. It's portion control. It's just take what you're eating and don't eat as much of it. And then take some good supplements, because you're already overfed and undernourished. So when you cut back, you're going to have even less nourishment.
Yeah.
So, but just cutting back the amount of food you eat, and then when you start exercising, you'll already start achieving better health.
Right.
And that's something everybody can do immediately. Just get a smaller plate or push the plate away when it still has a little bit of food on there. If you don't like doing that, put less on the plate when you get it.
Eat until you're not hungry. Don't eat until you're full. Because when you eat until you're full, then you're feeling all sluggish and stuff after you're done, and you probably just ate 3 platefuls. Because when I used to eat, I would eat until I felt like I was about to explode.
Yeah, I mean, I've had little competitions with people. Like, there's
Exactly.
10 more pieces of something on the plate.
Right.
I can eat those, or I can eat my 10. Can you eat your 10? And
Yeah.
so it was bad. I didn't realize what that was doing to my body on the inside. But portion control is just phase one, and we realize everybody can do that. Then we get to phase two. Start making better food choices.
Yes.
And this is where you start feeling better, you start getting some results, and you start realizing, okay, I don't need the processed food anymore. I don't need the instant mashed potatoes. Actually, if I'm gonna eat a potato, I'm gonna go buy real potatoes,
Yeah.
and I'll bake it. And instead of putting all these sour cream and everything on my potato, I'll just put a little bit of something else on it that's a little healthier for me. Just make better food choices.
Right.
We use the example of the cereals. Used to love to eat Cocoa Pebbles. Ate a lot of bowls of them because I loved them. Then just started eating one. Then eventually changed Cocoa Pebbles with Cheerios or some kind of oat or whole grain type.
Right. And you mentioned sour cream. Now, vegan lifestyle does mean no dairy
Yeah.
and no eggs, no animal products. Now, there is good reasoning for not eating this dairy food. I mean, especially milk. Let's take a quick look at milk. Do you know who the only species is that drinks another species' milk?
Homo sapiens?
Which is us. But we're the only species, not only that drinks another species' milk, which is weird after you start thinking about it, but we're the only one that continues to drink it after we've been weaned off of it, or supposed to have been weaned off of it.
Yeah.
But back to, I'm sorry, that was just a quick blurb in there. Back to step 2.
So step two, and that's a better food choice though, is you start realizing, and this is getting into phase 3, when you become a student of your own body and realize, you know what? Milk really isn't that good for me. It's acidic. It actually robs your body of calcium.
Yeah.
And overall, it does more harm than good when you drink it, especially when you start putting chocolate in there.
Right.
Although we love it, once you become a student of your own body and start realizing, I don't need this because it's not helping me with my health. And especially if you've had a herniated disc or been as overweight as I was, you want to start making better health choices when you realize, especially when you get to be over the age of 40, like I am. You see your friends starting to get heart disease, cancer, diabetes.
And I'm sure it has to be scary in a way.
It is, because you look at some of these people and they're more fit than you are, or
Yeah.
than I am, or I was, and they're getting these diseases. I'm thinking, well, if they've got it,
Then you're doomed.
I'm next. And that's why I started getting my annual physicals, because I wanted to know what was happening.
Right.
And then all my numbers weren't that good. They kept saying, well, you're okay here, but you're on the high side of it. But now when I go for my annual physicals, they're like, wow, Mr. Wheeler, what have you been doing? And I start telling them. And I said, well, that's the proper way to do it. We get a lot of people who come in here and try to do the pills and gastro stapling.
Right.
So, optimal way to eat. Again,
Reduce.
whole food,
Yeah.
plant-based diet, but take that in stages.
Yep.
Because if you ever want to get there, even if 80% of your diet becomes whole food, plant-based, you're going to be much healthier. Because some people will never give up chicken, fish, or beef. But limit the number of or amount of chicken, beef,
Go for
and
like
fish that you're eating.
2 servings a week or something like that. Don't have it every day or every meal even, because it is actually harming your body. Another important thing to point out is we followed our program. I mean, we didn't go from what we were eating, what we were always used to eating, to being vegan. And that's why I stress.
How long did that process take us?
Well, I mean, it took us about 8 months.
Yeah, because we just started becoming vegan about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 8 to 9 months we took us to become vegans. Now, it's important because you don't want to go from eating all of this junk to a vegan lifestyle. And that's why I stress the whole point of building healthy habits slowly, because as soon as you go from what you're normally eating through step 1, then you realize, okay, I'm eating less, and now I feel better about myself. Now step 2 is, like you said, you become a student of your body. And
Number 2 is making better food choices.
Make better food choices, yep. You start making better food choices, and then once you get to that point, you're like, I'm already making better food choices, and I feel great. Like, how much better could I feel?
Yep.
And that's when you're probably ready to take on step 3. And like he said, as long as you get about 80% of your diet from a vegan diet, then you'll be best off.
Yep. And the people I work with, they're all really surprised when I go out now with lunch for somebody. It's like, I order a salad, a chicken salad, hold the chicken, and I don't get dressing, give me some lime or some lemon juice, something like that. They're all very surprised, but then at the same time they're going, my God, you've lost so much weight. What are you doing? This is what I'm doing. So I hope that answers the question for everybody, and I hope you enjoy that chapter of the book. And we will actually put more information out there on nutrition for everybody, because it is phases. It took us 8 months to get there before we actually got to the optimal way to eat, and it's just a choice we made.
Yep.
Your nutrition has to be your choice, and the better you understand nutrition, the better choices you'll make.
Right.
Thank you very much, everybody.